We just wanted to give these people the opportunity to own their content, to make some real money, to be involved in the creative, and just have a great experience.
I want to fight both of y'all, you and you.
And
Both of
that's
y'all.
fine.
Because last time I fought you judged me.
First of all, producers are hella manipulative. They're gonna sit there and tell you what you think you want to hear all the damn time. You're in there for 2 months, people trying to fight you for no reason.
It was hot, the windows had no curtains, the sheets looked dirty, it smelled, it stank.
Who you call that? Oh shit. Who you call that?
Bitch, you're going to f***ing jail. Defamation of character.
What is this? Oh yeah, DD got a podcast. Man, welcome back to another episode of DD Got a Podcast, and of course, I'm your host, DD, back up in this witch with another video. Listen, for this episode, I would like to focus on and expose a person that could very easily be called some version of the Black Jeffrey Epstein or some version of Diddy, and by that, I'm not accusing this person of committing criminal activity, so to speak. But when I say some version of Epstein or some version of Diddy, I mean the exploitation of our people, the exploitation more specifically of our women for the profit of money, in order to profit and gain fame and money off of our women. And the biggest inspiration for this video is I went to a friend's house the other day, and I walk in and she has this television show paused on her TV. And I have no clue what the show is. I just look at the TV screen and I can see several half-naked women in like some kitchen area. A lot of them have tattoos all over their body. 2 or 3 of them look like they're in the midst of yelling, look like a fight is about to break out. And I'm like, what the heck is this, girl? And then she tells me the name of the TV show. I don't remember what she said. And I was like, oh, because I had no idea what it was. I was like, oh, what's that? And she's like, it's like reality TV. And I was like Love and Hip Hop? And she was like, yes, like Love and Hip Hop. And I was like, oh, I didn't know people our age watch stuff like that. And, I'm 30, she's 30. And I can genuinely see that she looked like she was a bit embarrassed or offended by what I said. And I wasn't trying to make it sound that way. I genuinely thought only like teenagers watch stuff like that. She was like, yeah, I only watch it for entertainment purposes though. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was just like, I was a bit confused, but it is what it is, And I was like, do you know other people that watch stuff like? She was like, yes, a lot of us. She was like, it's pretty much women. And so, I kept it moving or whatever. And that was a few days ago. And so I ended up leaving and doing some research on the television show and the network. And my mind was blown. Bro, we got to stop this, man. We have to expose this type of stuff. I don't know how this is legal. I know we are free to do what we want, but I don't know how people support things like that. And not even from a judgmental perspective, but I would just imagine that people will look at these sorts of things and go, bro, I see what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I'm not watching. I'm not supporting that. But we don't do that in the Black community. And one of the most popular videos on this channel is called This Is Why I Stopped Following Black Culture. And in that video, I'll talk about how a lot of things in the Black community, we do not celebrate. We do not commemorate, like talking proper. You're accused of talking like a white person, like valuing an education over a rap career or over an athletic career. Those things aren't praised as much. I'm not saying that that's still looked down upon, but you don't get as much support as the athletes, as the entertainers in our communities, so to speak. And it's not all Black people, but a lot of us do. And it's also it's not completely Black people's fault. It's other people's fault. Outside of just the white man and systemic racism, I'm talking about it's other Black people that have made it, that are successful, that look back and try to exploit us and take advantage of us and don't really care about us and claim to care about us. And in this video, we're going to expose that. Because one of the most alarming things that stood out to me with my friend was her telling me that she watched it for entertainment purposes, when the purpose of television shows and TV is not even entertainment. And when you consider the fact that reality programming currently makes up a significant portion of television, with estimates suggesting that around 40% of primetime television programming is now considered reality TV, some cable channels even dedicate as much as 90% of their content to reality TV shows. In 2001, reality TV shows accounted for about 20% of all primetime television programming. And to put that into perspective, that is a 20% increase. And some research, some studies say that it's as high as 60%. Do you understand how crazy that is? So first, I want to dive into what the true purpose of television programming is. And then we're going to dive into this network I'm talking about, the person behind the network. We're going to expose him as well. And then I'm going to, on the back end, I'm going to end this video by offering some constructive feedback and some ideas and advice that us as Black people can implement in our community to improve our conditions. So let's start with the basics. The first real television broadcast began in the 1920s and 1930s. At its core, TV was marked as a groundbreaking way to bring news, education, and culture directly into people's homes, which sounds great, right? It sounds innocent. But here's where it gets interesting. From the very beginning, TV wasn't just about sharing information. It was about controlling it. When major corporations and governments started funding TV networks, they realized they had a golden opportunity, the ability to shape how people think, what they believe, and even how they behave. Think about it. TV programming, even the term quote unquote programming, wasn't accidental. It's literally about creating content that shapes your mental quote unquote programs. From the news you watch to the ads you see, every frame is crafted to elicit a specific response. Now let's talk about the hypnotic aspect of television. Studies have shown that watching TV puts your brain into a relaxed, almost trance-like state. When you're zoned out watching your favorite show, your brain shifts from active beta waves to slower alpha waves, the same state you enter during hypnosis. So what does this mean? It means your brain is more susceptible to suggestion. Ever wonder why commercials are so effective, or why a TV show can influence what you wear, how you think, or even who you vote for? This isn't just coincidence. It's literally by design. Big networks and advertisers knew early on that they can embed subtle and sometimes not so subtle messages into their content to steer public opinion, sell products, and even manipulate cultural values. So I'm going to say this again. Television and TV shows are not just about entertainment. Sure, that's part of it. But the most important piece of television is programming. Which reminds me of this song I heard this one time called Bamboozled, this artist named Bizzle. And at the very end of the song, I suggest you all go and check out the entire record. It's an incredible record. But at the very end of the song, he says, I was on the plane the other day and I'm watching this movie called Ocean's 8. And these ladies, they were pulling off this bank heist. And halfway through the movie, I realized I'm rooting for the bank robbers. They're the bad guys. But that's whose side I'm on in this thing. I want them to get away. And I asked myself, how is it that the Christian is going for the bad guy in the movie? And I know you'd be like, oh, but it's just a movie. I've never watched an episode of SVU and was hoping that the PDF file got off. So what's the difference? And here's the kicker. Why is it when I watch Bad Boys, I'm going for the cops? When I watch Takers, I'm going for the robbers. Then it hit me. The director is able to present this thing in such a way that he can control which side I fall on. So my question to you is, if the director can do this with his finite brain, how much more do you think Satan is able to do if he controls the people who control the narrative? Y'all better get in that word. CNN may say one thing, Fox may say another thing, but the word of God remains the same. Powerful. Powerful. Now, who's the person that I'm talking about? Who is the guy that owns the network that features the television show that my friend was watching the other day? It's this guy by the name of Lemuel Plummer. And for the remainder of this video, we're just going to call him Lemmy. From my understanding, that's his nickname, Lemmy. Who is Lemmy? Lemmy is an African-American entrepreneur, producer, and media executive, best known as the founder and CEO of Zeus Network, a subscription-based streaming platform that has gained popularity for its original content, often centered on urban culture, celebrity-driven reality shows, and drama-filled series. And I remember he gained some popularity sometime last year when he had this back and forth and basically this semi-fight with the rapper slash singer Ray J.
Let's go. I'm giving you life, nigga, right here. Your network sucks. I'm giving you life. You don't even know what's up. You don't suck. Not tonight. I dare you to formula, nigga. I dare you to formula. You talent. I taught you.
Let him go, bro. Let him go, bro.
Hey, chill out. You ain't about that life, Jerry. Relax. You know this. I'm not even about this guy. I'm just going like come on, what a man. And these niggas allow it. We call women, and y'all niggas allow it. All y'all niggas allow
it. Listen, I just want to interrupt for just a sec to say if you are enjoying this video, I ask that you please hit that like button. If you enjoy my content, if you want to help the channel, please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It helps pushes my video out there. I would really appreciate it. Also, subscribe to my second channel if you have not subscribed yet. Link is in the description. And another reason he gained quite a bit of popularity was like in the last 2 or 3 years, this lady named Christian, who was at the time dating this rapper named Blueface, decided that she was going to give birth to her baby on camera on Zeus Network for views and for fame, which is extremely sad, but that's the world that we live in today. So Lemmy is from Detroit, Michigan, where he was born into a family deep-rooted in faith and media. His father, Bishop Keith Plummer, wasn't just a man of God, but also a television executive who produced faith-based programming. So basically, his dad would charge Christian people and organizations to be able to preach and host their Christian-based programs on his network. Basically, he was paid and he made money and got rich off of that, basically. This unique combination of ministry and media shaped Lemmy's early years. He spent a lot of time around cameras, studios, and production teams. While other kids were playing outside, Lemmy was learning the ins and outs of broadcasting, observing the skills and discipline required to create compelling content. Before founding Zeus Network, he gained experience as a producer in the television industry, working on several notable projects, including BET's The Monique Show and The Family Cruise, which helped him establish connections. For Lemmy, this was a pivotal moment because he realized that traditional networks often control not just the content, but also the narrative, leaving little room for authentic stories that reflected diverse experiences. So he started dreaming of a platform where creators could have full control, a space where their voices could be heard and could thrive without gatekeeping. And as I'm sure you all noticed and heard me say, yes, that's right. He comes from a family that is faith-based. He came from a family that had Christian values. He came from a family that was quite literally on the other end of the spectrum of everything I'm about to tell you and show you that Zeus Network represents. And now I want you all to take a listen to this man on The Breakfast Club talking about his show. And I want you all to listen to how professional and how virtuous he makes this stuff sounds.
Kind of show really helped, take us to another level.
Right, because that was when I first really was paying attention when she was on there.
But that show was so loud, and the relationship with her and her mom, has always been something that's been controversial. There's all these responsibilities that they're taking on, so we expect them to deliver. So, it's not easy. I will say it's not easy for them. The Jocelyn's when they're EPing and starring in the shows, the Natalie Nunns, even the Ray J's. I mean, it's tough, but they're getting through it. They're learning a lot too. So they're enjoying the process, as EPs, as talent. They're understanding the business aspect a lot more too. So I think their whole mentality has changed just based upon the Zeus experience.
You gave them the opportunity to boss up and not just be talent.
There you go. That's it in a nutshell.
Now you tell me with a straight face, if you had no idea, had never seen anything from his show or his network before, would you even have a clue or even think that he was talking about something as raunchy, as degrading, as debaucherous as Zeus Network? No, you would not. And I probably should know what's very important, is very unique about Zeus Network is that it's not just that it's subscription based, but what he did specifically was he took what they call influencers, right? Which I think is a very easy way of just saying plants, people that are placed in position to help lead the masses in the wrong direction. People like Black China, who he just referenced. People like Blueface, right? People like Jocelyn or Joycelyn, however you pronounce her name, who gained her popularity years back from her relationship with Stevie J. When you take people like this who have very little morals, right, don't follow God, it's not a coincidence that these people are placed in position and then they're pumped with alcohol, pumped with drugs, and then cameras are placed in their faces. They get their own television shows, and then it's all about fighting and the most destructive morals you can think of in the world. Which reminds me, I remember when he went on to DJ Akademiks, I interviewed him, and as much as I don't agree with a lot of things that DJ Akademiks represents, I was very shocked to see when he interviewed this guy, whom a lot of people, I'm sure most of his audience didn't even know who this guy was, and he asked him, do he feel even remotely responsible for the things that he pushed on his network?
I'm saying,
like, if you only show,
I'm not only showing. I feel like we're at
it's a lot of fighting.
We're at a unique time. I think first of all, people are desensitized. With all
no, it's not.
No, if you take out Zeus, do you know on social media every day? There's so much stuff happens on social
Zeus
media.
Is pretty much network TV.
What makes us different than HBO? What makes us different than? Hold on, let me finish. What are you talking? HBO used to have real. They used to have people walking around. Okay, but hold on, wait. So, HBO, listen. HBO has so many. Like whether it's scripted, unscripted, it doesn't matter. They promote the same way we do.
Why
do I have to? Why ask HBO why they do what they do? Listen, no, I'm asking. No, balance. What do you mean balance?
Every show, show on your network where
it's only we only have so many shows. Hold on, wait. Listen, we only have so many. We're not HBO. We have been around for 20 plus years.
You know it's bad when DJ Akademiks is asking you that same question. The same person in DJ Akademiks who helped push drill music, who helped popularize drill music, and a lot of the things out of the Chicago culture, literally asked this man, does he feel responsible for the things that he pushing on his network? So first and foremost, I want you to take note that he slipped up. I believe it was him slipping up and mentioning the fact that people are so desensitized, because he's not lying. We're so desensitized as a country, as a world, as a people, to fights, to drama, to all of the nonsense, to all the ungodly things in the world. We're so desensitized to it that we shouldn't be holding him responsible if we're not going to hold people like HBO responsible. But if you're leaving programs like BET so that you can create a platform that's different, but then you want to be held to the same standard as them, what makes you any different? What makes you any different, bro? You're talking about on the Breakfast Club, he mentioned people, he want to give people an opportunity to make some real money. Let me tell you something. Anytime a person looks at you and say, real money, come over here and make some real money, run in the other direction. If you are a young person and you watching this video, please hear me out when I say this. If you don't take anything else from this video, if a person makes a statement to you, let's make some real money, go the other direction. Because whatever they're talking about is ungodly. Whatever they're talking about is borderline illegal, if not illegal. The fact that Lemmy, the fact that this guy comes from a rich family, comes from a great background in the sense from a socioeconomic standpoint, just so he can get into position so that he can give creators a better opportunity to create all these shows, baddies this, baddies that, everything's bad, to then push these demoralizing, these destructive morals, or these lack of morals to low socioeconomic people in these urban communities is the epitome of evil. Because the people, you should understand the audience a little bit better that you're reaching. You're worse than the rich white people or the rich white Jews that own these record labels, because they don't even understand these populations. You have a lot closer relationship to these people, and you're leading them to hellfire. You are leading them in the wrong direction in the name of getting rich and famous. How dare you? And I think far too often what we see in these communities is that we give people pass after pass after pass, and it's not until people are criminally charged or criminally accused or being sued in a civil suit before all of a sudden we like, you know what, I don't know why we supported him to begin with. No, we should be doing that now. This dude is evil, man. They get up there with their fresh haircuts, their nice little jewelry and watches and their Balenciaga shoes, and but their souls as black and as dark and as filthy as they come. Looking like us, leading us to hellfire. We have to call these people out for who they are. Exploiting our women. You can't come on these shows if you're going to be positive. You can't come on these shows if you're going to dress appropriately. You have to support everything that's good is going to be called evil. Everything's evil is going to be called good. It's flipped. It's reversed. That's the world that we live in today. For him to create his own subscription, like, it's brilliant from a business perspective because it's working. Because he understands that people are so desensitized to it. That's what people want to see. People are just living their life and just going along with the motion like sheep. And he knows that he's exploiting our people instead of giving us the truth, which is Jesus Christ. So I just want to end this video by saying this. How do we break free from this? What's the solution? One of the biggest solutions, and I'm not saying that we need to get rid of TV altogether, but I think the first thing we need to do is be selective. Choose the content that adds value to our life, not just distractions, not just something to help bypass the time, to help us escape from reality, because a lot of us are dealing with depression and we're unhappy with our life and our situations and our circumstances. The second thing is, we've heard it before, but we really need to practice this, and I need to practice this. We have to limit our screen time. Whether that be not just real reality TV shows, but social media altogether. Because the more social media that we watch, the more depression we're gonna feel. It's not gonna help the problem. It's just putting a band-aid over it. The next thing is, we need to question everything. If we're watching something, we need to be asking ourselves, is it adding value to our life? Is it benefiting us to watch this? Am I constantly seeing the same thing over and over? Is there a pattern across different television shows? And if so, why? Why is there a pattern? Why is it the same things? What's the message? What's the agenda behind it? And the last thing I think we need to do, and I know we need to do actually, is we need to read the Word of God. And I know a lot of people are going to be turned off by that, but that's okay because it's truth. We need to open up our Bibles. We need to read the Word of God. That's what we need to do, including myself. We have to grow closer to God. We have to grow closer to Jesus Christ and gain a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Because the stuff we see on TV, whether it's real, whether it's scripted or it's not, we have to understand that it's adding depression to our lives. It's not adding value. Straight up. That's all that I have for this one, man. I would love to hear from you all. Hop in the comment section. Tell me if you knew who this person was. Tell me what you think if you've seen any of his television shows, if you've been on Zeus Network, which, by the way, the name Zeus in itself is that of a mythical god that at one point in time people worshipped, which makes him a false god, right? Hop in the comment section, give me your thoughts. I'd love to know what you all think and what you feel. My name's Demetrius. I go by DD. That's all for this one, man. Until next time. Peace.
Oh, yeah. DD got a podcast.